Hello, race fans, and welcome to Off Camber TV's coverage of the Northwest Truck Series, sponsored by Sarge's Place, Volt Vapes, The Hungry Dragon, Sim Stuff, and Sasquatch Crossing. Tonight, we are in a Lone Star state of mind as round 7 of the season makes a stop at the Texas Motor Speedway for the running of the Walz Beard Co. No Limits 150. Scheduled distance for tonight's race is 100 laps around this 1.5 mile track. Last week at Dover, we saw the number 1 truck of Wayne Hutchinson gamble on old tires and hold off Sean Breitzman for his first victory on the season. But tonight, who will hold the infamous 6 shooters in victory lane? Joining me in the booth tonight is, as always, Donovan Johns and Katie Reed. How are you guys doing tonight?
Looking forward to some Texas racing tonight. Wayne Hutchinson, awesome run last week. He's sitting number 1 on the board, provisional 1 in the qualifying. This is going to be something different that we haven't seen before. Mark Walz in P8. Excitement happening in the Lone Star.
Yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm excited just as much as Donovan here. I know these guys love these types of tracks, especially Texas. I mean, we've got 25 guys here tonight, so that's definitely exciting, getting a few more drivers every race, it seems. And, of course, people like Sean Breitzman coming in at the last minute, no practice time, and qualifies 6th. So, as always, it's going to be just as exciting to watch these guys get at it. And like he mentioned, Mark Walz, considering, I guess this would really be towards the back for him since he always qualifies top 2, top 3, but back in 8th position. So we'll see if he can make his way up through the field.
And we didn't see any of Walz last week, and in doing so, Wayne Hutchinson leapfrogs the 29 to take over the championship lead by 11 points over Mark Walz. Sean Breitzman moves up a position into 3rd. D. Palmer drops a spot into 4th, and Brian Barnes, 33 points behind, is now running in your top 5 for the championship point standings. Also, I believe he is leading the Rookie of the Year standings as well.
That's correct. Brian Barnes is at 202 points in the Rookie of the Year seasons. We're just 2 points up over Jeff Stabnow. He's got 200 points. Nicholas Bishop coming on pretty good. The second, coming in his last few races, he's at 138 points. Gary Nickel, Nathan Little, Ray Partridge, Jared Morgan, and Robert Decker all in there, but are pretty far behind the Stabnow and Barnes show.
Yeah, and right now we're watching the 67 of Andrew Williams take the track for his qualifying effort right now. He's just taking the green flag on his first lap. We'll see what kind of time he can put down, but I'm telling you guys, Andrew Williams is a force to be reckoned with this year. He did miss 1 race, but those 5 races that he's been in, he has had 4 top 5s, and all those top 5s have been top 3s. They've been podium finishes, so he's been having a really, really good season, and he's up there in points as well. So got to keep an eye on him as he runs through all these tracks right now. His first lap was not so good, but that's just getting a solid lap, and let's see if he can increase that on a second time by.
Yeah, the only race that he did not finish in the top 10 was last week. Big incident towards the end between him and, I believe, the 18 Chad Barker towards the end of that race. Throwing the caution out and giving Wayne Hutchinson the win. Right now, your top 5 on the board, Wayne Hutchinson in the number 1 truck, trying to capitalize on the momentum from last week. And you have Chad Barker in the 18 having a bad string of luck this season, just cannot finish out the race. This runs good all throughout the race, cannot finish. Drew Lalonde in 3rd. Brett Johnson, newcomer to the series, in 4th, and D. Palmer right now sitting in provisional P5.
Yeah, Brian Barnes is making his way around the track right now in the number 4 popsicle machine. As much as I've been in the Northwest League here myself, Brian Barnes, been racing with him for the last almost 3 years now. He's been running that popsicle scheme for as long as I've known him. And I think he's been running popsicle since he started iRacing in 2008. But he's joined forces up with the Atlas Racing Finishers Group, Andy Williams, Ottenbacher, Kukas, Fletcher, and I think that's it of all of them. But looks like the Dog Bear is. Excuse me while I had a little frog there in my throat.
Ribbit.
Atlas is starting to build up and try to compete against the conglomerate of Dog Bear. So should be a pretty good show. They might be able to put some setups between them all and give some competition. Looks like Brian Barnes laid down not as great of a lap as he was going to hope for. He is currently P22 with a 28.902.
Yeah, highlighting a couple drivers throughout this qualifying field right now. Of course, we can mention Sean Brightsman, who did not put in a practice time, but let's be real, he's probably up towards the top if he were to practice anyway. So I don't necessarily call that a big jump, but technically looking at it, it is from 25th to 6th in qualifying. We have Brett Johnson, who again you just mentioned, brand new to the series, so a very good start for him. Qualified 4th after practicing in 9th position, and want to highlight a few others. Gary LaViolette practiced in 18th and qualified 10th, so a really good jump for him. Unfortunately, people are going just the opposite way, including Jeff Stabnow, who actually practiced in 4th position and qualified 16th, so lost quite a bit of time on that qualifying effort.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see, and that's over a tenth and a half lost in from practice to qualifying. But some guys they're used to the long runs; they're able to dial it in and feel comfortable that way. Some guys are good solo for a lap or two. So, speaking of which, Mr. Twinkie Chad Barker did pull up a second P2, second place qualifying effort thus far. And we are going to lock in the lineup here in just a moment and get this thing under green.
And definitely looking forward to the race tonight. 100 laps here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Going to wait for a couple more guys to grid up and going to give your starting grid here tonight for the Walz Beard Co. No Limits 150. Wayne Hutchinson grabs the pole tonight with a 28.612. Chad Barker starting P2 with a 28.630. We have Drew Lalonde and Brett Johnson starting in row number 2. D. Palmer and Sean Brightsman in row 3. Andy Vogt in 7th. Mark Walz in 8th. John Ottenbacher in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Gary LaViolette. Ryan Mays in 11th. Carl Burke in 12th. 13th went to Dan Stussy. Andrew Williams all the way back in 14th. And William Fletcher in 15th. We have Jeff Stabnow, Nathan Little, Gary Nichols, Eric Bolton making his first start on the season in 19th. And Kip Leo is going to round out your top 20. Got Kukas, Brian Barnes, Trenton Barrington, Nicholas Bishop. And I do not believe that Jared Morgan will be racing with us tonight. He has not gridded up. But if he does, he will be provisional P last.
P dead last.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I think it's possibly because he didn't get a stellar time in practice, and maybe he was just not demanding that much of himself with that time, so he let it go, and possibly just not going to get a start here because he's not spawning at all.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys are practicing heavily for the Daytona 500 for the Pacific Majors, which the Northwest Club is a huge supporter of. So I know he's been doing a lot of work over there, and he might be over there practicing dialing in that Cup car for the 500.
All right, here we go. Wayne Hutchinson is going to lead the field here after the pace car dives down to the pit lane. Wayne Hutchinson, pole sitter for tonight. Going to get us underway here. Green flag out. For the Walz.
Already wrecking up.
Big record.
Yep. Gary Nichols, 13 of Nicholas Bishop, 24. Just up now. Ooh, green was still out and they didn't get going, but yellow decided to come out right at the end there.
And let's see what happened.
Oh, Jeff Stabnow, I think he might have disconnected. He went up to the top, got out of the way. The 8 stopped to not get a black flag from passing him and stack up from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little screwball right there.
Yeah, it
a lot of
seems like-
spotters.
I believe it is the 24's internet. I think that's what happened. A little bit of a disconnect there, but he's finally back responding. Kiblio got possibly the worst of that right there.
Even with a connection issue, normally the truck will, or whatever you're in the sim, it'll normally blink out or do something, kind of funky. It looks like maybe his wheel disconnected or he had some hardware issue or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, the thing is, he was running the top lane and he just stopped turning. He stopped turning and slowed down, stopped at the top of the track. And yeah, of course, like we just mentioned, the 8 of Gary Nichols slowed down, which was, it was right on his part because he can't pass the 24 or get black flagged. Well, the 16, of course, had to check up. The 4 had to check up. 16 right at the back of the 8 of Gary Nichols, and that's the rest is history.
Watching the leaders pace around here. It looks like Gary Nichols is sorta in the wave around position, rocking that flying V on the back of his spoiler. Kip Leo heavy damage and Nicholas Bishop already a lap down on working lap number 3 of the 100 scheduled distance for tonight. Just a big mix up there on the initial start.
That's highly unfortunate. All right, so are we going to do a full restart? I guess not.
I believe it's going to be run what you brung. Only a couple positions really changed hands during that exchange. The big ones being, of course, the people involved in the wreck. D. Palmer moves up 1 spot. Going to put Brett Johnson on the inside of the 3rd row. Don Ottenbacher and Mark Walz exchanged positions, as did the 17, 53, 68, and everybody behind them.
Yeah, gained 2 positions. Scott Kook is gaining quite a few, from 21st to 17th. So that actually worked out for him.
Didn't even have to hit the start-finish line.
And Dan Stussy actually looks like apart from Jeff Stabnow was a big loser on that. Actually lost 6 positions and actually wasn't involved in that. So I think it was probably from the checkup was what he lost those positions for.
We should get him 1 to green here next time by. Mass confusion here. Hopefully it's not a precursor for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that was not what anybody was expecting to have happen to start the race. Everyone was talking about having a nice, good, long green run. So let's see if these guys can refocus, regroup, get their minds right, and get it going. Looks like as we're doing that, Kip Leo is going to make his way into the pit lane. Seek a little service from his digital crew here.
Yeah, he actually that'll put him down a lap. So getting the fresh tires he can get, gonna get back out there. Right now, he'll be the first car 1 lap down, competing with the 13 of Nicholas Bishop, and of course the 24 of Jeff Stabnow, all 1 lap down.
Looking at Kip Leo's car here real quick, or truck, as he's coming out of the pit lanes and rejoining the field. Hungry Dragon Sauce there got the privilege of having a little bit of that the other day. They're still working on getting their shipping going to hit nationwide. But Kip was kind enough to blast them over to us. And let me tell you, that was some amazing good sauce. So once he does get that going up, all you guys out there in iRacing land and YouTube land, check out the hungrydragonfoods.com. Pick up some of that sauce. It is scrumptious.
It really is. I put it on some chicken the other night. Fantabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Pace car is off. Once again, Wayne Hutchinson gonna smash on the throttle. Green flag back out in the air.
Wow, what a restart by the 1 Wayne Hutchinson, pulling out front, side by side. Back behind him is the 18 of Chad Barker and the 31 of Drew Lime. They're gonna go as single file as fast as they can there. D. Palmer back behind him, and then we've got let's call it a cluster. The 46, John Brightsman up high on the 10 of Andy Vogt. Andy Vogt trying to make a good comeback. He's had a couple of rough races this season, and see how far up he can make his way through the field. Look at the run through that corner, passing the 46, now passing the 7. Single file, he will go.
Yeah, race strategy wise, watching some of these guys, you can run 5 to 7 good laps wide open, unlift, no lift.
Oh, the 67 into the 53 of Carl Burke. He's around. Caution's out. 53 of Carl Burke.
Oh,
Oh,
85
no, takes
involved.
out a couple of cars.
Yeah, Scott Kukas got into that as well. He's going to have to come down and use that fast reset. He is killing mosquitoes out there right now.
Yeah, the 67 went low. 53, I'm guessing, just didn't see him there and pinched him down. 67 got into him. Nothing the 67 could do. And like you mentioned, the 53 spinning around. The 28 lifted, 9 lifted, 2 got into the back of the 9 lifting, and of course the 85 caught the 53 coming back up the track. That was a really, really hard hit by Scott. There's no way he could have expected the 53 to be there, and he was trying to go around him to the bottom, but the 53 just stayed right in the middle of the track, and 85 just couldn't get around him. Knocked him right on the side.
And it looks like we have our first casualty of the race. Jeff Stabnow has pulled the truck into the garage area, hung up the helmet, and called it a night.
Yeah, we have to assume something major happened either with his setup or with his internet, because yeah, that was a massive disconnect
Whoa. 31 to pit lane, 23 with a fake out. D. Palmer, I believe, faked out his Dog Bear teammate there and almost ran into the Woody. And Mark Walz on pit lane as well. Along with the 78, the 4, the 2, the 53, the 8.
Yeah, most of these drivers have some type of damage from the first 2 cautions, and that is why you see them in the pit lanes. The only 2 that haven't is the 29 and the 31. Those are teammates.
That's a lot of ground to regain there for the 31. Not so much the 29. 29 was back in 13th coming into pit lane.
And coming out of pit lane right now is the 53 of Carl Burke. Wanted to call attention to that one real quick here. Running a new paint scheme tonight in the Pennzoil silver and black, I guess that is. And blue, platinum. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous paint scheme. So a little bit of eye candy to appreciate for a moment there while we go through the ugliness of these first less than 10 laps of the race.
Yeah, a couple of guys picking up some spots here early on. We have Andy Vogt, practice 10th, qualified 7th, up to 4th, so having a good little run early on here. We have Brian Maines up from 11th to 8th, and Andrew Williams right behind him from 14th to 9th. So a couple of guys picking up some spots. Nathan Little doing an excellent job from 17th to 10th. 7 positions at the start of this race, picking up some spots. Really well done by him.
Yeah, I got the 68 on pit road, taking 4 tires and fuel here. Down and away now. Violette pitting from 18th. We'll put him all the way back in 22nd on the track. I believe the number 2 was your lucky dog this last time, or the 13 actually, Nicholas Bishop, your lucky dog on this caution.
Yeah, I believe the 2 took the way around. Leo is the other driver, multiple laps down. The only driver multiple laps down. Jeff Stab now is retired, so Kip Leo, 2 laps down. We'll get the lucky dog if he could just hang on here.
Should be getting them lined up 2 by 2 here in a second. Yep, lights are off the pace car. And looks like the 5-minute rule for going going to the garage area does not apply to the 24. He can come on back.
Yeah, is iRacing going to implement that?
You know, part of me wants to say please,
Right.
but it's like, if that was me, I'd rather not.
Yeah, right.
I
It
just
depends on what part of the situation you're
I
involved in.
I just want to be able to quit a race and not take a big ding for it. If they're going to park me, I just want to be able to exit out. Because Dono loves Wall way too much.
Get ready for, running 20 laps of Daytona in 3 segments.
Right.
Lap 5, lap 10. Then you get a 10 lap segment.
All right, we're getting ready to do some green flag racing.
Yeah, hopefully these guys calm down and get to stretch their legs out here, and we can start ticking off some time working lap 11. We hit the stripe, beat lap 12, going back to green flag conditions, and we are back underway here at Texas.
Yeah, what an excellent jump by the 1 again. 18 going to get clear. The 10, Andy Vogt making an excellent run at the early part of this race. On the outside of the 23 of D. Palmer, back behind them, the 46 Sean Breitzman, side by side. With the 7 of Brett Johnson, newcomer to the series. See how well he can hold on here. Looks like he might clear the 46, but the 46 is going to have a little bit of a run back there. The 10 still side by side with the 23. Oh, 17 diving in the 46. Ooh, that was close. He was drifting up a little bit there. 23 cleared the 10. 7's cleared the 17. See how they're going to make it interesting across the line here.
Yeah, 17 to the inside of the number 7 as Ryan Maines passing Brett Johnson on the inside. Breitzman going to make his way off of 2 on the inside of the 7 as well. And we have a battle for the lead right now. Chad Barker underneath Wayne Hutchinson, going to take it with ease. Working his way through the middle of 3 and 4 off of turn 4 now. New leader here, Chad Barker, number 18, Walz Beard Code Machine.
I love watching the beginning of these runs here when guys' tires are fresh, watching the strategies play out. Who's going to burn up their tires fast? Who's going to let them go? Look at the 1 truck and the 23 truck coming up underneath the 18. They are going to search for that. Oh, are they going to go 3 wide? No, the 23 D. Palmer stays right behind the 1 truck, and everyone's training.
Was the 18 in the wall on the backstretch?
No, these.
He was really close there. Losing a lot of time. He's going way to the back here. Big problems for the 18.
Yeah, he did
He
not
might have
touch
blown
the
the
wall.
motor.
Yeah, he definitely didn't touch the wall, and he's not speeding back up. He is not speeding back up. That motor's done.
His truck is silent.
He has blown a motor here. And pre-race, we did get to speak with a couple of the guys in the garage area, and they said that would be a factor here. But obviously a little bit quicker for Barker there, as he may have left the tape on for qualifying.
Yeah, the best he can hope for is try to coast to the pit, but it's going to be close.
Well, the good news is we know he hasn't been involved in any of the yellow flags that have happened thus far, so hopefully he'll be able to do a quick fast repair, get right back on out there without losing too many laps.
Yeah, he hasn't pit yet. Oh, and the 2's coming in behind him. Trenton Barrington, unscheduled pit stop here.
We got a battle for third right now on the track. Andy Vogt under attack from Ryan Maines. 17 to the inside, trying to take away that third position in 1 and 2 here. Pushing up the track a little bit with a squeeze in front of the 10. And going to take it. Coming off of 2, here comes Breitzman underneath the 10 of Andy Vogt. Breitzman trying to take over that 4th position, heading off into turn number 3. Running that inside line. Vogt trying to squeeze, but gets a little bit squirrely in the middle of the turn. Breitzman's going to take over that 4th position.
Right about now with the lap we've run, we've had 5 green flag laps. Times are going to start falling off. The guys who have abused their tires are going to start dropping speed. The guys who saved their tires will be gaining speed. We're going to see a lot more shuffling over the next 3 to 5 laps as these cars finally settle in.
I want to highlight Chad Barker off of pit lane here. He did have that reset. Unfortunately, I had to use it so early in this race, but 18 laps in, he is 1 lap down at the current moment. So if he just hangs tight, he will get the lucky dog here. So got to keep that in mind. Oh, 2 laps down. Apologies, 2 laps down, but everyone else is also 2 laps down. So he is still in the lucky dog position.
Pretty much single file throughout the field. I'm going to take a look back at a couple of people. Mark Walz putting some pressure on the 28 of William Fletcher for the 9th position. Walz already back to the top 10 here.
Yeah, Walz took a peek on the last corner and set himself up to get underneath the 28. of William Fletcher, and the start finish line. He's got the position. Let's see if he can carry it through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he and Drew Lalonde are coming from the back after pitting early on. They're starting to hit drivers that have not pit, and so they're starting to get a little bit of advantage on these tires, and so we'll see them start picking up a few spots here.
Yeah, Lalonde still on the inside of Fletcher. Fletcher trying to make that outside work, trying to get the momentum coming off of turn 4. But here comes
Ooh,
Carl Berkeley.
the
Touch.
53 spins him.
Oh, this is going to hurt. Wow.
Oh,
Wow. What a save from William Fletcher there.
Oh, my gosh.
Carl Burke as well. I mean, he didn't hit anything at all besides the 28. That was amazing. It's one of the best saves I've ever seen. I mean,
yeah,
he
guys,
looked
I'm
like
actually
he was, wow.
watching the replay here. The 53 held his line the best he could. The 28 came down on him, and that was a little bit of netcode. A little bit of netcode from the all of a sudden appearance of the 28 next to the 53, and that's what caused it.
A little bit go a long way with that netcode.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You can tell they didn't touch, but it was close enough. I don't know how 28, though, went through that wreck and didn't get hit by another car.
I mean, he must have channeled his inner oh boy, who drove to 28? It's one of the Allison boys. Except
Davey
the
Allison.
opposite. Yeah, I'm having brain farts. It's after midnight for me.
And then
Well,
Ernie Irvin was after that.
Yeah,
and to give him a
Ricky
shout
Red.
out. Yeah, to give him a shout out. Back in the pack, the 68 of Gary LaViolette and the 8 of Gary Nichols, they were the leaders of that next pack, and they started slowing down way before they got to him, and everyone checked up back behind him. And that is a good example of what you can do and how you can avoid a wreck if everyone's paying attention.
All the leaders are on pit road here. Had a good. Had about almost a 10-lap green flag run. Looks like Chad Barker stayed out, and I cannot.
24.
24. There we go.
Yeah, the 16 actually passed Chad Barker coming off of pit lane right at the last second.
Oh, somebody.
There's just too much action happening up in here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the 20. I think that was the 28. I think that was the 28 of William Fletcher. It was. Oh, no. He was
I believe
just involved
16
in the
got
wreck
into him.
on the track and blinked and got hit by the 16 coming out of his pits.
Race off pit road. Wayne Hutchinson, Sean Breisman, D. Palmer, Ryan Maines, and Andrew Williams, your top 5 coming off of the pit lane.
Now, why in the world did Kip Leo pit? He was the lucky dog. Interesting. Well,
I
Kip
believe
Leo, I take that
Chad
back,
Barker.
is not going to be your lucky dog because he did not stay out. If he would have stayed out, he would have been in front of Chad Barker and received the lucky dog, but he pit. He pit the first time by.
I have not known the 28 to be creative in his wording. He's usually a pretty straightforward caller out there on the track. He gets a little frustrated. He will let everybody know.
Yeah, I can imagine after the last 5 minutes that he's had on the racetrack, he's not exactly thrilled.
I can't see anybody being actually thrilled out there right now. Except for maybe Wayne Hutchinson. He's getting a lot of really great easy laps.
I mean, they're not letting him run away, though. I mean, Sean Brightsman, his teammate, D. Palmer is his teammate back behind him. They're not letting him go. They're not letting him out of his sights.
And look at usually we're really dog bear heavy on the front here. We've got dog bear, and then behind that, Maines, Williams, Vogt, Johnson, Ottenbacher. None of those are dog bear drivers. The Atlas Racing guys are stepping up strong. Newcomer Brett Johnson having a fantastic debut with the Northwest Truck Series.
Yes, indeed. Really, really well done. And again, I like to highlight these drivers because they tend to have a lot of good races. People like the 17 of Ryan Maines, who qualified 11th, now up to 4th. People like Andrew Williams, qualifying 14th, up to 5th position. So a lot of these drivers gaining spots. Even Brian Barnes. Brian Barnes qualified 22nd, is now on 12th. So he's picked up 10 spots. So a lot of these drivers doing really, really good early on, trying to play a little bit of strategy here.
I am going to. I jumped into iRacing and I looked up the driver profile for Brett Johnson since we have no information on him. Brett, coming from Kennewick, Washington, has listed on his profile here that Texas and the truck is his favorite setup. So he's definitely picked a nice night to debut.
Yeah, really. I don't know what Sean Bryceman is doing, but he is going slow and checking up this entire top lane right here. There we go. Back up to the front, sir. That's not what anybody wants to see.
Yeah, spotter chatter has been going back and forth on positioning iRacing. We've been having some issues getting people lined back up correctly.
All right, pace car working the field in the middle of 3 and 4.
Look at Wayne Hutchinson holding them back.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get a good jump on the field. He obviously went through the Mark Walz school of restarts over the week leading up to this race, and there he goes. Looks like a well-timed team restart there from Dog Bear.
Ooh, Andrew Williams and the 17 of Mains there got really close together.
Andrew Williams working an inside line, trying to get around the 17. Ryan Mains with a little bit of momentum on the high side, still outside of the 67, heading into turn number 3. 67 clear. Mains going to tuck in behind Andrew Williams and in front of the 10 of Andy Vogt.
A couple of trucks behind that. The 29 truck just passed the 39 and the 089 in one corner. Mark Walz, a man on a mission. He does not like being in the back of this field.
Ooh, a little bit of tight from the 089.
Whoa, as Mark dives under the 7 truck too. He's definitely going to be heading to the front.
We've got a single file train right now. The first pair side by side is the 31 of Drew Lalonde side by side with the 089 of John Odenbacher. Odenbacher trying to make his way up through the field. Drew Lalonde had to pit early on. He's trying to make his way back up to the front. See how he can do it.
Meanwhile, Mark Walz got around to number 10 of Andy Vogt, working inside of Ryan Mains down the backstretch here at Texas Motor Speedway, going off into turn number 3. Looks like Walz is going to stick the truck in there, run that inside groove, going to be on the back bumper to 67, going to try to pass him in the quad oval.
Almost got in the grass doing some lawn maintenance here in the 29 truck.
On board Walz taking over the 4th position from Andrew Williams. Mains almost into the back of the 67. Vogt to the inside of the 17 now. Big exchange of power here with these 4 trucks.
Yeah, with the exception of Walz, all these guys pitted their first time this caution. So Walz actually coming with worn out tires compared to them.
Yeah, that was some impressive driving these last couple of laps from Mark Walz. Basically taking on, about 5 trucks in the last couple of laps.
It restarted 10th up to 4th.
46 all over D. Palmer. He is looking for to gain some spots too. He sees 29. He's thinking, I got to go.
Yeah, all over, I think, is an understatement.
Looks like he may have missed. Forgive
our own Donovan. Having a little bit of tongue twisters right now.
And he's got the run set up 23. He is on the inside, looking to make the move into P2.
He almost went to the apron for that turn.
You know, the 46 does like to apron himself quite a bit.
Yeah, Mark Walz right behind him, not wasting any time. Good Lord, look at that run. Following the 46 through, he is clear of the 23.
Yeah, there we go. Mark Walz up to B3. Sean Bryson up to 2nd. Going to set their sights on Dog Bear teammate number 1 of Wayne Hutchinson. Meanwhile, back here, Andy Vogt trying to get a run on Mains. Mains with a run on Williams here. Battling, trying to get back into the top 5 is Ryan Mains at number 17. Going to go to the outside here. Needs to be careful. Had to back off a little bit. We get the 10 a little bit of an advantage behind them. Drew Lalonde underneath the number 7 of the newcomer Brett Johnson. Johnson going to give up the position pretty easily and put Drew Lalonde back up to the 8th position. Excuse me.
Yeah, I want to highlight the 8 of Gary Nichols diving deep on the 78 of Dan Stussy, getting that spot rather easy, I might add. The 68 going to follow him through. Dan just having to drift up and lose those 2 positions back there. Gary
Yeah,
Nichols is the lead of that pack in 12th position.
I was just about to bring them up as well. 68, Gary LaViolette, he's having a very high ping tonight, but yet able to keep that truck moving with momentum and drafting along with the 8 truck really well tonight.
Meanwhile, our leaders are dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. Number 2, Trenton Barrington, getting passed by D. Palmer right now, and really going to wad up behind Palmer in 4th position. Trying to keep it to the inside, but he might want to just go ahead and take that thing to the apron as he kind of gets a little bit on to the apron and almost pushes into the 67 in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of a wiggle there from him. He's diving all the way down to the bottom, trying to stay out of the way of these guys, but these guys are still using the bottom themselves, so it's not really helping anyone. It's 31 trying to get around him. The 7 still left to go. That is 9th position, though. He's going to fit in right in front of him. I do want to highlight, guys, Dan Stussy is a good 5 miles per hour slower than these drivers. He has, since we've checked on him, dropped back 3 more positions into 17th. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with that truck, but he is definitely slower than the guys that have been passing him rather easily.
I was watching Stussy drop to the field there in the 78, and he kept himself wide and stayed away from the guys who were battling. He did a great job allowing everyone the field to get by him. He's still running slow. I'm rewinding tape trying to find if he hit wall or not, but he's slowly getting some speed back.
Yeah, not quite sure. We're going to jump up back towards the front here. The 31 was side by side with the 10. The 10 going to back out of that battle real quick. He's going to fall into the 8th position in front of him. The 17 is still hot on the bumper of the 67 of Andrew Williams, trying to hang tight. They're having, oh wow, they are hanging tight. Look, he has pushed them through the corner almost across the line. I don't think you could put a few cases of paper between that truck, those 2 trucks. Good Lord. 31 getting a good run behind him. Got a little bit of a 3-car battle. All for 5th, 6th, and 7th position, I might add.
There goes May, still trying to work the inside of Williams. Going to push up the track a little bit. Williams really tight on that 17 coming off of the turn. Drew Lalonde is like, hey, beep, beep, I'm a Jeep, get out my way. He wants to go ahead and get through here. Going to work the inside of Williams. Williams is going to have to back out of the throttle.
The 10 is going to follow him through the 2. Remember, that is a lap down car. The 7 behind him is for position, but they are running back a little bit. The 67 might be able to get help from this 2, and he will. He'll be able to slide down in front of him because that is not 4th position. 2's going to back out, go into the 7. 7 is going way too fast for the 2. Trenton Barrington getting a little bit of trouble there. Not a battle for position. However, one battle for position is the 1 and 29. The 46 was involved. Not quite sure what happened there. Did you see it, Donovan?
I did. I was keeping an eye on it. Looks like Walz.
17. Ryan Maines. Oh, good save.
That's unfortunate.
Beautiful save, though.
Ooh.
29 made a beautiful move on the low side of the 46 to take up 2nd. And now everyone's wrecking in the back. Oh, man.
Oh, 17 coming out of the tight turn 2. Just smashed the wall. And, he pulled up in front of the 78 of Stussy trying to roll away.
Didn't wait enough. Yeah, didn't wait enough. Came out in front of the 78. 78 clipped him a little bit.
That's going to put some damage on Stussy's car. I was thinking, when you were talking about him earlier, Katie, I was thinking maybe he had a little bit too much tape on it and he was starting to overheat. And when you overheat, you lose a little bit of horsepower. That might be why he was a couple mile an hour slower, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, for a good 5 laps, he was 5. I was watching him across the line every time cars were passing him, where he was running about 179. A lot of these cars were running about 185 across the line, and just I'm not quite sure, but he just wasn't as fast on the straightaways.
There was a moment as Ryan Maines had just scruffed the wall and lost it. He came down off that wall and almost touched the 31 car. I'm pretty sure you couldn't have put a couple of sheets of paper between those 2 trucks. Talk about lucky dog. 31 Drew Lawn made out on that one.
Yeah, and speaking of lucky dog again, Chad Barker gonna go around the field and get his lap back. Here comes the race off of pit road. Looks like Hutchinson, Brightsman, Walz, Palmer, Vogt. Your top 5 race off of pit road. Really tight between the 23 and the 10. I wouldn't be surprised if 23 got a speeding penalty.
It looks like it. He's got a couple of cars passing him right now.
That is exactly what happened. 23 busted by the pit lane police officers. I have to go
You
to
really
the back
hate
of
to
the
see
pack.
that too.
I really hate to use that much alliteration too.
All right, while Chad Barker is making his way around the track, he will pit this time to get caught up. Looks like the 28, 24, 16 all coming down pit lane. None of them are staying out. The only driver to stay out during this caution will be the 2 of Trenton Barrington, and I suspect that is because he is 8 laps down, so he has a long way to go.
A little bit of drama unfolded as the pack was coming out of the pits. The 7 truck riding low on the apron. 089 was already up on the track. They're both side by side, but the 7 looks like it didn't know he was out there. Went to join the track, and they just pancaked the side of each other's trucks.
Lovely. I like pancakes.
Yeah, actually, was listening in on the radio. The 089 of John Odenbacher was actually a little furious. And then within, I'd have to say, about 10 seconds, he flipped a switch and goes, well, you know what? It might have made me better. Thanks. And actually got really excited about it. So, I mean, if someone's going to react after you hit them, that's the way you want them to react. So, the 7 of Brett Johnson getting off the hook a little bit there.
Still putting together a really strong run for his debut. I mean, he's stayed in the top 10 the whole race so far. Does have a couple fast trucks behind him, so see if he can continue to do that. And quick shout out to Mr. Popsicles, Brian Barnes, all the way up to P7.
Hey now, working his way up. He's doing an excellent job. And before we get back to green, the lights are out on the pace car. I do want to give you guys a quick race summary of what we've had so far. Our current leader is Wayne Hutchinson. He has led now 42 of the 43 laps that have been completed out of a total 100 scheduled. We've had 2 lead changes, 4 cautions for 16 laps so far. And real quick, right before we get back to green, I want to highlight our top 5. The 1 of Wayne Hutchinson is in first, 46 of Sean Brightsman in second, 29 of Mark Walz in third, 10 of Andy Vogt in fourth, and Drew Lalonde, the 31 with an excellent rebound with Mark Walz as well. Drew Lalonde in 5th position.
Yeah, it just doesn't surprise, it doesn't surprise me anymore. Week in, week out, Dog Bear always seems to float to the top of the barrel here.
Yeah, of course. Well, hey, Chad Barker back on the lead lap. Let's see what he can do.
All right, pace car is going to make that hard left turn into the pit lane. Wayne Hutchinson on the throttle. Green flags back out in the air here at Texas.
Yeah, really good start. See the 46 going to try and get down single file as they go into turn 1. 29 is clear, 31 is clear, 10 is getting dove under by the 67 of Andrew Williams, trying to gain a position on this restart. 10 to the outside. 67 has a great run off of turn 2. 10 coming back just a little bit. Brian Barnes going to hang tight back behind him, see which lane is the best, not to get too involved early on here on this restart. 10 going to tuck down behind the 67, or try to. Didn't have the best turn there as he tried to hold on to as much time as possible. 67 coming back under the 31 now, as Drew Lalonde didn't have a great 4th turn there.
Ooh.
Losing positions now.
Yeah, definitely had to get out of the throttle there, push way up the track as our leader is still under fire from the duo of Brightsman and Walz. Sitting there working off turn 4. Looks like Mark Walz is going to go to the inside of the 46, going to try to take over that 2nd position. He's got the preferred lane right now. Once he does that, he'll have Wayne Hutchinson all to himself. Bryceman going to go ahead and make the smart move and back out. Give Walz the position up to P2.
Yeah, and while that's being settled back in the pack here, the 7 is side by side with the 42. Unfortunately, Brett Johnson did not have a good restart there, and a lot of these trucks are passing him. The 42, Nathan Little, going to take that final spot away as Nathan moves up to the 13th position. The 17 trying to make his way back up towards the front. Trying to dive below the 68 of Garrett Violet. Wasn't happening there. Single file.
Back behind them a little bit more, the 23 is making his way around the 28, trying to push the 18 of his teammate Chad Barker up past the 16.
Sorry, 3 wide for a moment here, guys. The 17, 68, 089, 3 wide through third turn.
Oh, very close there. Mays pushed up into LaViolette. And looks like Ottenbacher just, made a smart move, gave middle lane as much room as possible. LaViolette, the big loser in that exchange.
Yes, indeed. You were correct. That was very close. But those drivers did an excellent job to hang on there. 68 didn't have a fun time. Let's see if they can get by the 089 of John Ottenbacher, who's losing position. Not quite sure why. He had a good restart. This will be his almost 4th position loss so far. And look at the run Nathan Little is having behind him.
I think that cuddle truck, once you get on the high side, you lose that groove. It's going to take a little while to build the speed back up. If you notice, that happened to a couple other drivers. Once they get back into the line, get the the gas pedal underneath them and going, they tend to get right back up to speed pretty fast.
Yeah, talk about back up to speed. The 18 of Chad Barker, after the unusual mishap of what happened, I believe his motor just was shattered. He was able to drift back to coast back to pit lane, use his quick repair, get Lucky Dog and staying out, get the wave around, back up to 14th position on the lead lap.
Yeah, just over halfway in the race right now. Looking through the 089, trying to make his way back around the 68 with the 42 breathing down their back bumpers here. 089 trying to put the nose of his truck on the inside of the 68. Not going to be able to get there. LaViolette going to maintain the 11th position over John Ottenbacher, with Nathan Little peeking to the outside of the 089, heading off into turn number 1.
Yeah, we've got a couple of battles here. I want to highlight the 46 up front. John Breitzman has been sizing up the 29 of Mark Walz lately.
Yeah, I was watching him over the last couple of laps, and Wayne Hutchinson just decided to go ahead and check out for a little bit, and now both Walz and Breitzman are catching back up, and Walz fell all the way back to Breitzman. Now Walz starting to pull away from the 46. It's a little bit of a seesaw pattern up here with the top 3.
Yeah, a little bit of yo-yo action going on right now. These drivers just trying to log some laps, as you normally do at Texas. These trucks and these drivers are very talented. They tend to go quite a while before having any incidents, but they're doing a great job right now as our top 3 are hanging tight, trying to stick up near the front here. Back behind him, the first car in line is Andrew Williams. A little bit of a 4-car pack right now, 4th through 7th. Oh, as the 31 dives low on the 4. Brian Barnes having an excellent race so far. Qualified 22nd up to 6th, now dropping back to 7th. Back behind the 31 of Drew Lalonde, but that's not surprising. Drew qualified in 3rd, and he is now making his way back up towards the front.
I'm keeping my eyes on the top 3 as they're running and coordinating with themselves, catching up, spacing out, catching up, spacing out. Look at the 29 truck. Mark Walz having a day in his household as well. Mark Walz, his wife, is currently having a birthday today and is due anytime now with their 4th daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of
yeah, hang tight there, bud.
And that's why he races.
Hey, you do what you got to do, man. You have your hobbies and enjoy your family. We wish them the best going forward. The 42 of Nathan Little, though, is having a little bit of difficulty here hanging on. He got passed by Chad Barker. 23 of D. Palmer followed him through. 7 is doing the same, and so is the 16 of Kip Leo. He is trying to make his way past the 42 and will do it. Oh, off the corner, making it a little bit close for him. 42 is going to go back single file. Only one behind him right now is the 28 of William Fletcher, who is actually not 4th position here. Oh,
Oh,
Little
ouch.
bit of a
Little banging
stack.
action.
Yeah.
That's the accordion effect we were just mentioning a bit ago.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. The 16 got a little loose there. 42 had to slow down. 28 gave him a little bit of a tap. But luckily they were able to save it, and they're going to continue on.
Yeah, Texas is a very heavy momentum-based track. Anytime you get out of the right racing groove, you slow down for anything, people are going to pull away. Other people are going to catch real fast. You got to keep your eyes on what you're doing.
Yeah, speaking of pulling away, Wayne Hutchinson giving a little bit of time and space to these guys right now. Mark Walz about 6/10 back from Wayne Hutchinson. He is releasing the speed right now. Sean Brightsman still hanging tight with Mark as best he can, but these guys, these three guys, are 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. So Wayne Hutchinson doing an excellent job.
The 9 truck got out of the way of Wayne. Eric Bolton giving plenty of room to that 1 truck.
Ooh. Ooh, but he did not get out of the way. The 46 could not pick a lane. The 46 tried to go around him, but every time he picked a lane, he would get in the way. Really unfortunate for Sean Brightsman. Hopefully a caution comes out for him later in the race so he can catch back up, but that 9 is too slow. He is so slow on the top lane right there. You hate to see that as these drivers are just trying to get around him. He's got 2 wide battles coming to him, and that's going to cause nothing but trouble. Highlighting the 089 of John Ottenbacher coming up on him. The 8 was on the outside. He slowed down, tried to get back behind him, go single file before they reach the slower car.
Yeah, and while the 9 was dealing with 17 loose on the apron there. 68 gonna he's loose too. LaViolette in the grass.
Oh, there goes lawn maintenance for LaViolette.
And
Yep.
looks like he might be able to save it. Will anybody be here on the
He's
kick?
got a lot of trucks.
Oh, 28 to the wall because of that. LaViolette.
Oh.
Wow.
Dan Stussy, he's also checking up, falling in behind Gary right there. Man, that was intense looking.
Good night. These guys are making it exciting, but the 17 of Brian Maines on the outside of Gary Nichols, the 8, Chad Barker, the 18, side by side with his teammate, the 23 of D. Palmer. This 2x2 battle in the back
truck
of
in the
pack.
grass. Another truck in the grass.
Oh, the 10 off the track. Almost came back up in front of these guys. He's still trying to gather. He'll be back up on the backstretch here. Andy Vogt, excellent save by him.
Oh, nope, he's losing it again.
Oh, yeah, 17
going to hit the inside wall. There's the 10. He's not back on the racing surface, but caution will come out for the 10 of Andy Vogt out of turn 2. Just, I don't know what he did. He just got loose trying to get back up to speed.
His teammate at the exact same time that was happening with him, the 17 in traffic, lost control, slapped the wall, got it gathered back up right in the middle of that little 5-car battle that was going on. So he had an intense moment while his teammate was having a very similar moment, but by himself.
And don't look now, but we have a new race leader, Mark Walz. While everything was going on back there, dealing with the lap down traffic, he took over the top spot from Wayne Hutchinson.
Yeah, going back through the footage, see what happened to the 1 truck. I think, he got around the 9 pretty easily. Mark Walz got around him, of course, a little bit better. And I'm watching it. Just looks like Mark Walz had a much bigger line. The 1 lost some time through 3 and 4 1 lap, and that allowed Mark Walz to just jump back on his bumper. And of course, coming out of 2, the 1 slid up a little bit, and that opened the door. Mark Walz taking advantage of it as he will, and got the pass right before that caution came out, and I mean right before it came out.
Yeah, that caution was very kind of Mark Walz. He had that killer run coming out, was able to establish position coming down the stretch, and the caution came out right after he finished that pass. So I did not give the 1 truck an opportunity to get that position back.
And we'll see right now, Mark Walz down and away. Can Wayne Hutchinson beat him off of pit road? Will not be able to do it. Going to lose a couple spots on pit road, actually. Lose 1 to Brightsman. Brian Barnes gains a couple spots, and Andrew Williams going to come out rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, really well done by Brian Barnes. Great pit stop. Really good pit stop. The 2 stayed out, the 24 stayed out. Those were your only drivers. Both of those drivers, multiple laps down. So we'll really have no influence on the lead lap cars right now. Speaking of lead lap cars, we have 20 of them. Nicholas Bishop is the last of those. He's having a tough race, unfortunately, because Smack the Wall got involved in a few wrecks. Kip Leo also still on pit lane. He's been having a tough night. And William Fletcher as well. And of course, we just mentioned Andy Vogt is that solo spin of his got him in trouble.
I feel a lot of this came from, from lap down cars. According to the iRacing code, the slower cars maintain the line and the faster cars, make your way around them.
Yeah.
But lap down cars, in my book are a little bit different. They should either stay as high as possible or run the apron and maintain apron speed. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think it's a little different compared, comparing drivers here. I mean, we have drivers like Kip Leo, who wasn't slow, but was able to go down a few laps. Then you have drivers like, unfortunately, Eric Bolton having a tough night. He is just so much slower than these guys. I mean, ridiculously slower than these guys, and that's going to cause problems.
And I'd beg to differ with you there a little bit, Wes. From the real world racing perspective, it's a hell of a lot easier when the driver you're approaching does hold their line and keep their pace versus pulling over. You spend 10 laps catching the guy, you know where he's at. You're going to pass him the way you know you can pass him. If he makes a change, that's scary. So you always want to make sure that if you are a lap down car, hold your line, hold the position, hold where you're going to be at. Don't do anything different. Allow the fast guy to get by you.
Right, lights are off. Go ahead.
Honestly, but don't be a dick and race the leader.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
I mean,
9
like
times
we
out of 10,
mentioned.
that's what you run into.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys just trying to hang on, but guys that are multiple laps down, and that's what makes it tough for these drivers. Well, Mark Walz up in that top spot has the lead now after having a little bit of a heavier traffic race so far. Sean Priceman's still up there. Wayne Hutchinson's still up there. It's really interesting to see. Brian Barnes, of course, gaining so many positions throughout this race. I mean, he has had a steady positive race so far, qualifying in 22nd up to 4th. So we'll see if he can finally do anything now that he's on the back bumper of the first row.
We all know that 29 is being the restart king here in the Northwest Truck Series. We'll see if his Dog Bear teammates can try and keep up with him as Mark Walz leading his first laps of the race here. Going to bring the field to the attention of the flag stand. Pace car heading off of the racing surface. And he is gone. Green flag back out into the air for the Walz Beard Co. No limits 150.
Yes, indeed. Really, really good restart for him. Side by side, back behind him, though, the 46. Up top on the 1. The 1 trying to have a really good restart on the bottom. He'll clear him through the corner. Off the corner, the 46 will dive down to the bottom. Try to go single file, the 67 behind him. Getting tucked in as well. The 31 passing the 4. 4 on the high side. Now trying to get down. See if he will. Yes, he will. In front of Carl Burke. Carl Burke having a good recovery race so far. Back behind them, though, the 089 drifting back there as the 8 goes below him. The 18 of Chad Barker, he is rebounding rather quickly, I might add. Having an excellent end of the race. Let's see if he can get under the 8. He could not. Holds up the 17. 17 holds up the 23. A lot of action going on right here in the middle part of the pack. This is the 8 of Gary Nichols in the 8th position.
Yeah, 089 gave the 8 a little bit of a shot going into turn 3 there. Had to run wide, almost in the wall, pushing the cushion. And the 18 got around him, trying to set his sights on Gary Nichols. Chad Barker to the inside, heading off into turn 1.
Yeah, don't count out the 18 of Chad Barker just yet. He is having an excellent race. Had that horrible mishap early on, but since then he has been relatively clean. Qualified 2nd, practiced 1st, and he's back up to 9th position.
And back up front, Wayne Hutchinson trying to put some moves on the race leader, Mark Walz, pulling away from the 46 of Brightsman. Pretty much the top 7 all in line. Just about a second separates 1st from 7th. Wayne Hutchinson.
Keep in mind that that was the longest green flag run we have at about 17 laps so far, and Mark Walz was able to get to him right at the end. So if this, if this race comes down to a good 2 15-lap segments, Wayne Hutchinson might be something to count on.
little exchange between the 31 and the 67. 31 took the spot over coming out of turn 3 on the inside, and Williams at the quad oval decided
Whoa,
to go ahead and take
big
it.
wrecking in the back.
Oh,
We
back
got
behind the
Looking for
Odenbacher.
Odenbacher's on his
Oh,
roof. He's on his lid.
Oof. The 10 of Andy Vogt
Yeah,
involved as well.
10, it was on the inside of the 089. I'm rewinding to check it out, but it looks like he drove up a little high and just collected into the 089.
Yeah, I think the 10 was expecting him to hold his line right across the top lane. The 089 did for the most part, but the 10 just came up and wiped him out, unfortunately.
Yeah, he just let that truck drift a little too high.
I don't know how to two-sweep by that.
Yeah, I know. Tim Barrington, name we haven't thrown out too much tonight, definitely got a little lucky break right there.
That was a dangerous but pretty crash by the 089 of John Odenbacher. Luckily, he does have a reset, if I'm correct, so we'll see if he can repair that damage. The 10 as well. I think the 10, he did spin, so if he used that quick repair earlier, that he won't have it now. Yes, indeed. No, he took most of his damage on the top part of his car. So you know, if you're gonna damage your truck, damage that.
I mean, how impressive it is to go down the backstretch on your lid, bouncing around, come back on your wheels, drop a gear, pick it up, keep on going.
I'm good, guys. Let's go back to racing. Almost a Dale Earnhardt mentality there. Did I wreck? Oh, we're good. Keep going.
That's like a scene in 2000.
Oh man. Carl Burke up at the front, 2 tires stop. Hey, now we got a little bit of a battle going on.
Oh, with still 28 to go. Oh, that's a gamble.
I think what Carl Burke has to bank on now is a small run, and then everyone come back to pit, and then everyone get 4 tires. I think that's the best he can hope for right now.
Yeah, 53, 29, 67, 1, 4, 46, 31. You raced off of pit road that last time.
What's pretty interesting, though, I have to admit, is that Carl Burke was only in 7th position. You know, it wasn't as if he was in 20th. So, you know, I guess Carl Burke thought it was his time to go. So he took 2 tires and he got to the front.
Well, you only have right around 5 laps. 5 laps of green flag on the left side tires, assuming he took rights, which, but
yeah.
Don't think too hard on that one.
No, I was just in a Daytona race, and you would rather take lefts than rights.
Take rights.
You know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to take rights anyway.
Yeah, I'm listening to the radio, and it seems like the 10 car is having some trouble with his quick repair. I want to point out Jeff Stabnow was down 5 laps with the mishap that he had early on in the race, and is now down to 2 laps. 2 laps
saying there's a chance.
Down. So, hey, if they have a big wreck here between cars that have already had their fast repair, he might gain a few spots. So really good on him to get back out on the track there and battle back. He's already gained 3 positions. Eric Bolton out of the race. Kip Leo out of the race. Well, he's not out of the race, but he is 9 laps down. So Jeff Stabnow has received that position. Trenton Barrington is actually in front of our leaders. He will take the wave around, so he will go from 7 laps down. Yeah, from 8 to 7 laps down.
Yeah,
I think he's still having some troubles.
Yeah, take a look at that 089. He is still I want to say pancake, but not pancake. He's experiencing sheet metal difficulties. 10.
Yeah, 089 is looking crisp.
That is true. That is the cuddle ride, so that always looks crisp.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you have a little bit of a soft spot for that, but
Mike could.
we'll let that go. It's okay. Back up towards the front,
You
man.
you
Keep
too
an
can
eye on
check out
Carl Burke.
the cuddle for yourself at voltvapes.com/cuddle.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
67 of Andrew Williams in third. Let's see what kind of start he can get. He's hoping the 53 goes very quickly.
At 67 is not liking his odds right now. 53, not on, very, very old tires, but still on older tires. Pace car is all 53s, throwing a hammer down.
Checked out.
Oh, 53.
Mark Walz
Putting
kept
it down.
caught sleeping.
Yes, indeed. 67. Now they're on the same amount of tires here. And the 67, he is not such a weak link. He was running in the top 5 for the latter part of this race, take that spot from the 29 of Mark Walz.
29 with a little bit of a run on the 67. Going to peek inside. 67 going to throw the block down.
Hey guys, Sean Brightsman side by side with the 18 of Chad Barker. Chad Barker trying to make his way back up through the field. We mentioned him. His night's not over with Sean Brightsman losing a couple of spots in that restart. 18 going to try and get under the 8. He will.
And the 23 bobbing and weaving, he's looking for a hole. That man is on a charge deep.
Ooh, three wide.
Don't do it. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, Sean Brightsman thought better of it. Unfortunately, he's going to hurt him just as bad. 23 going to go side by side with the 8 of Gary Nichols. Sean
there's the
Brightsman
7
dived
truck.
it down in front of the 7 of Brett Johnson.
Door shut. That's like my prom night right there.
Oof.
Yeah, 67 and 29 right now. Mark has been literally pushing his 67 for the last 2 laps here. Going to give him. Oh, there
Yeah,
he is
67.
inside.
Oh, he is. Oh, watch out!
Oh, no! Ooh, that could have been bad. That could have been very bad. The 29 able to hold it, so was the 67. The 53 of Carl Burke not able to run away with those 2 tires. The 29 in one corner. Look at him get back on the attack as he's trying to catch him. He will be right on his bumper as we head into turn 1.
Let's see if Burke has the ability to drive forward and looking at the mirror at the exact same time.
29 taking a wide arc into turn 1. Going to have a good run coming off of turn 2 here. About a truck length separates the top 2. Andrew Williams falling to the clutches back here. Wayne Hutchinson going underneath Brian Barnes for the 4th position on track. Brian Barnes going to get stuck on the outside high and dry.
29 under to the 53.
There he goes. Mark Walz trying to take over the top spot. Burke trying to pinch him in the exit of the quad oval. Not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't think you can put any fear in the 29. He's going to hold his line. He's going to keep going. 21 laps to go. Past full lead here. Let's see if the 29 can hold on that top spot, but they've got a nice little cluster back here. The 67, the head of that pack. Andrew Williams in the 3rd position, running very closely with the 1 of Wayne Hutchinson, the 31 of Drew Lalonde, the 18 of Chad Barker, passing the 4 of Brian Barnes. Chad back up into the 6th position, making a run towards the end of this race.
Wayne Hutchinson is desperately trying to find a way to put that 1 truck up underneath the 67. 67 is hugging that white line while the 1 is trying to defend the 31. 31 is all getting the heat of the Chad Barker. Oh, these guys are driving hard on one another. They are not giving an inch, and they are battling.
Have Barker make an impressive run to the outside of the 31. Still side by side heading off into turn 1. Williams not giving any inch to the number 1. Brian Barnes underneath the 18 working their way off of turn 2. Got D. Palmer and Brightsman. That's just a dog bear cluster right there.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna
A
let
little
the
bit
dog
of a huddle going on. Those drivers, the 18, unfortunately cannot pass the 4 on the outside. 4 is going to dive down and run off the corner there. It's going to hit that spot. That is the 4 of Brian Barnes, moving to the 6th position on track. And the 1 is still riding the bumper of the 67, not letting him go. And that is what's causing this little bit of a, let's call it, chokehold position here.
Yeah, it's
as they
a
are trying
bottleneck.
to,
18 in the back of the 4, giving some love.
Little tappy tap.
One of those, hey, I'm going to move forward, whether you're there or not.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Brightsman coming up on the back of the 18, diving into the 23. Yep, and the 10 truck is falling back. He has a lap down vehicle, and everyone's squeaking underneath him.
Yeah, I think the 23 saw that. He is drifting way back. The 4 going high out of the
Uh-oh.
corner. That's
Oh,
not going to work out
second
for
and
you.
roll.
Oh, The 18 tried to dive low, but couldn't get there. The 4 was able to go down low past the 10 and get back in line. The 18, though, going to take advantage of that and try to dive, ride that low line, get around the 4, go off the corner, about even across the line they'll be. 18 going to put his... the 8 of Gary Nichols!
Tried to get around.
Good, out of nowhere.
Well, they went 3 wide with the 10 truck with the 17 on the low side. 17 hit the grass, came up, 8 reflected up and just collided up in the 10 and the wall.
And
Yeah,
4 truck falling
battle.
back.
Oof.
Pretty hard now. 67 still not giving up. Still in front of that 1, blocking the racing line here. Not exactly blocking. He's defending his position, but very impressed with Carl Burke on the 2-tire call right there, as the 1 has to go a little wide there.
And the
31.
Yeah, the 1 kind of sick of the 67, but unfortunately can't do much about it. The 31's going to take advantage of the 1 having a little bit of trouble. 31 trying to get back by him. These guys are teammates side by side. 2 teammates back behind them is the 18 of Chad Barker, the 46 of Sean Breitzman. They're going to watch, see what line is best. The 1, of course, has been your leader of the most laps this race and will be. He led 60 laps at the start of this race and unfortunately just fading right now.
He's fading even more. Yep, there he's going to get freight trained. And the 18 is going to go by 46, 7, and probably the 23.
Ooh, 31 on the inside, guys.
Oh,
The 67. Able to hold that low line. Digging up off the corner
Walz
there.
Chad Barker in the Walz Beard Company truck. He's closing that gap as well. They are going to all freight train right by with them.
Yeah, 1 in
Yes,
the wall
indeed.
in the middle of the quad as well. There goes the 46 underneath the 67 of Williams, working his way off of turn number 2, squeezing that 46 down there.
Tell you
And
what,
look at the 7.
something Mark Walz does not want to caution because Chad Barker is coming. Look at him get on the inside of that 31, Drew Lalonde, trying to take that 3rd spot. What a rebound by the 18 of Chad Barker. Good.
He come
night.
back from 2 laps down?
Yes, he did. 2 laps down after losing positions under the green flag. Oh, 31 in the
Lalonde.
wall. Big checkup behind him.
Looks like
Everyone
67
looks to be
also
clear.
brushed the wall.
Yes, indeed. Breitzman on the inside of the 18. These are teammates.
This is exactly what Mark Walz wants to be seeing right now. And Carl Burke, the exact same thing. He's just in front of these guys and enjoying the view of these guys putting pressure on each other, which is going to slow them down.
Yeah, this 7, Brett Johnson.
He was 13th on this restart. He is now sitting P5.
Yeah,
And
really. I think
battling.
he's just following the 18. That's probably the smartest move. Chad Barker's definitely one to follow in this series.
Oh, 31's loose behind him. Lalonde saves it. Almost gets into the 68 of LaViolette. 31.
Oh, they are all avoiding.
Ooh.
Really well
Very
done by
loose
these
coming off
guys
the
to
floor.
avoid him. And we've got a 5-car battle, a 5-car battle right now going on all the way up to the 3rd position. This is 3rd through 7th, guys.
Chad Barker just drove down and is diving under the 46 of Breitzman.
He's pushing up just a little bit. They're going to give each other enough room here to 7, though. Look at his chops. He wants to get up to P number 3 right now.
Yeah, I want to remind you while you're watching this battle, their teammate Mark Walz, 29, has stretched his lead to 2 seconds over Carl Burke.
Jeez! Sorry, I was watching the bumpers on the 18
Yeah,
and
no,
46.
Mark Walz telling these guys through the radio, calm the hell down. He does not want them to catch him at this pace.
Oh, Breitzman's not appreciating that move. He is coming back.
Tell you what, the 7's not giving up either, guys. Brett Johnson, newcomer, he is not giving up, and the 67 is mad. He is mad he lost all those spots. He's coming back. Under the 7.
Seven's,
good night.
Seven's going to have to run wide, get out of the throttle for a little bit longer. Going to fall back to the clutches of the 1, Wayne Hutchinson, trying to make his way back into the top 5 here. As
Breitzman sniffing apron. We all know how Breitzman likes apron. I like wall. Breitzman likes apron. Yeah, Carl Burke. He is still a second up over these guys. Mark Walz has checked out, but Carl Burke did a 2-tire stop, and it's not hurt him at all.
No, it hasn't. So really, really good call by him. Chad Barker, though, fading, guys. 46 was able to get by him. The 67 now able to get by him. The 18 is going to move into the 5th position. The 7 battling back behind him with the 1 truck of Wayne Hutchinson, who is our most laps led leader of this race, and he is trying to hang on as well. That's for 6th and 7th position. Ooh, 67 out of it. Quite a bit. Look at the run by the 7.
7 got to run, backs out a little bit. Barker's going to block the inside. 7's going to peek in down there, running to the inside. He has to back out a little bit. Going to let Barker back into line.
Yeah, these guys here are playing chess at 180 miles an hour, bobbing and weaving, trying to figure out who's going to be where with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, we are under the threshold. Next flag will end it, whether that be a yellow or a checker. Barker, though, still trying to work on Andrew Williams. He's getting so close to that bumper.
Oh, jeez.
Almost.
Williams is slamming the door.
They are not being best friends right now.
No, but this is a great battle that we are watching. Unfortunately, they're not. They're battling for. This is a big battle, but it's, the 67 gets out of whack a little bit. Here comes the freight train. Here's the 7 with a good run. Brett Johnson trying to make a big impact on his first race of this season.
Yeah, he's there to the inside of Chad Barker. Going to push up just a little bit. Had to get out of the
But so
throttle.
did
Still
Chad.
there.
Chad didn't have the greatest
And
corner
67
either.
is coming in on the inside of the 1 truck. Oh my gosh!
Sorry, guys.
Stop
We
it.
just really appreciate these guys. All of these guys are very talented, and this is what kind of racing we have from week to week, and they are putting on a show here.
That was really close to the left rear quarter panel of that 18 truck. The 7 still fighting, still trying
Two by two they
get
go.
that 4th position off in turn 3. Really hits the brakes there. Going to check up the 1 and the 67. 67 trying to get to the inside of the 1 there. Looks like the 18 is clear of the 7 as they hit the stripe with 2 to go.
Yes,
Real quick,
indeed.
yeah, Mark Walz is checked out up front. Carl Burke is checked out in 2nd. Sean Brightsman sniffing him down. But these guys are 2 seconds over this run that we're following, 18-7, 167, 4-car battle.
Yeah, we're going to jump up to Brightsman right now, trying to pass Carl Burke. He finally caught him. This is 4 tires compared to 2 here, and Sean Brightsman is absolutely just going to fly past him.
7 pulled the move on the 18 while the 1 truck hit the apron and almost pitched it sideways, able to collect, but he has fallen back.
Yeah, Mark Walz just way too far out front. Sean Brightsman passing for 2nd. He'll keep that spot. Carl Burke in 3rd, but we've still got this battle going on. Brett Johnson able to hang on to that 4th position. This is 4th through 7th on your screen. Let's see how they finish across the line.
Yeah, here
Because
comes
Mark
Mark
Walz.
Walz coming out of turn 4 here. Going to sit here and win the Walz Beard Co. No limits,
Yes,
150.
indeed.
Back to
Sean
the
in
7.
2nd, Carl in 3rd, and back behind him in 7th.
In the grass.
The 18 goes.
Somebody
Brett
tried to pass
Johnson.
in the grass.
I cannot stress how well done that was by Brett Johnson. What an excellent race.
Wow.
And of course, Mark Walz back to the top spot.
Intense.
That was some good old-fashioned driving put on.
And there he is, your winner. And the number 29 machine. Walz going to burn him down on the front stretch here. Happy he's going to take home a pair of 6 shooters as he wins here in Texas.
That was some impressive driving. Mark Walz restarted with medium back in the pack and just decided he wanted to be up front, passed cars left and right, got up there.
Yeah, very impressive drive from Mark Walz. As always, that's his 5th win on the season out of 7 races. So he's still got a pretty good percentage there. And we're going to go ahead and give you your unofficial results here at Texas. At the number 29, Mark Walz making his return back from missing last week and bringing home the hardware. Sean Brightsman got around Carl Burke in the last couple of laps. Going to take home the 2nd place position. 53, Carl Burke gambled on 2 tires and come home in 3rd. Brett Johnson, impressive first showing for him. Going to get him a top 5 in 4th. And Chad Barker, an impressive drive from here, actually gets a good finish in 5th. Andrew Williams in 6th, Wayne Hutchinson 7th, D. Palmer 8th, Nathan Little gets a top 10, and Gary LaViolette will round out the top 10. William Fletcher bounces back to 11th, Ryan Maines in 12th, Drew Lalonde fell all the way back to 13th, Brian Barnes in 14th, Gary Nichols 15th, Dan Susie in 16th, Scott Kuka 17th, and the last car on the lead lap, the 13 of Nicholas Bishop in 18th. John Ottenbacher finishes 4 laps down in 19th. 7 laps down is Trenton Barrington in 20th. Andy Vogt, Jeff Stabnow, Kip Leo, and Eric Bolton are going to round out your field.
Well, man, that was some amazing running. Again, these guys put on a show that gets better and better and better every time they come. Last race in Texas had a lot of its own issues. The beginning of this race had some issues, but man, once they got their relaxing, calm down, these guys put on a clinic. There was some hard driving. That was impressive.
Well, guys, I have our first interviewee this night. Unfortunately, Carl Burke is not available for comment at this current moment, so we are going to pull in our 2nd place finisher, Sean Breitzman. We, of course, recognize him, always trying to finish up top as best he can. Sean Breitzman, you got us?
Catch that and clear.
Fantastic. We'll talk about your race. I mean, it was very well done on your part. Of course, you didn't get any practicing time in as normal. Qualified 6th, and from there you had a 2nd place finish. So walk us through it.
Yeah, setup for the Walz Beard Co. Toyota Tundra was on rails. Mark worked really hard. Chad, the whole Dog Bear Racing team worked really hard in laying down the laps and making sure we had a great setup underneath us. We ran up front most of the race. Came down the last 25 laps. I just happened to overshoot my pit box a little bit and lost, 7 spots. So I was just hoping we could get back up in the top 5, and we did, and obviously was hoping we could catch Carl there with the last couple laps.
Man, you're that whole last 10 laps, all of you guys in that group with Chad Barker, the 7 truck of Brett, a couple other guys. Man, you were running and almost beating and bang on each other, and you and Chad had a couple of really close calls. What was going on right in there?
It's the matter of the run here at Texas. If you get a run, especially that late, you kind of got to go for it. I was trying to stay behind him a little bit so both of us could go and catch Carl up there and try to get 2nd and 3rd. And I made the run, and then I overdrove the next turn, and then he dove under, and then I finally got by him. But by that point, again, he got held up by some of the other guys who got in line during our little position swap.
Well, man, you had a great race. You brought it home P2. That's congratulations. Good point night as well. Who do you have to give some shout outs to? Sponsorship love, friends saying hey. What you got?
Of course, gotta thank Walz Beard Co., race sponsor as well as the truck sponsor. Gotta give it up to Volt Vapes, Sim Stuff, the Hungry Dragon, Sasquatch Crossing, everybody that supports this Northwest Truck Series. That includes you guys at Off Camber TV. Without you guys, we wouldn't have these cool broadcasts to watch the next day or share with our friends and family.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate it. You guys put on a great race. And again, thanks for letting us be a part of it. Where are we at next week? Anybody know?
We
are at Darlington.
There we go.
That's right. We swapped that
yes,
out.
indeed.
We're gonna get some stripes on.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it home with a nice little black stripe or red stripe.
Nice. Hey, I heard you got a couple of minutes of practice last night. Showed you finished and you got 2nd. Let's go for 10 minutes of practice next week, and I think you'll win it.
Oh, if we're going to Darlington, we're gonna need more than probably 10.
All right, man. You have yourself a great week. We will see you 0 Dark 30 next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, same to you. And again, that was Sean Breitzman in the 2nd position after an excellent race, hanging up there in the top 5 for the most part. And the next driver, I believe, we are very familiar with, as always, Mark Walz finishing in the first position, winning the race at Texas tonight. Mark, you got us.
10-4.
Fantastic. Well, walk us through your race, man. I mean, you had an excellent latter part of the race there. Now, tell us about the first part, though. You qualified eighth, so not exactly directly on the ball there. How'd you make your way up to the front?
Yeah, qualifying, man, those qualify times were just so close. It was awesome to see all those guys get up qualifying up front. I knew it was going to be a handful. You run full throttle for a while, and starting where I did, I tried to just start the first half of the race and try to just maintain and see how the race unfolded. But we started getting some multiple cautions. I flipped a switch on, and it was go time. I wasn't going to waste any more time.
Yeah, right about mid race there, you were sitting, I want to say it was around eighth or so, and all of a sudden you picked off 3 cars in one corner and charged your way up to the top 2, and it seemed like you did that whole thing in just a couple laps. You were a man on a mission. It was fantastic. What was going through your mind there, though, as you Burke had a 2-tire stop and he was sitting on your inside? What were you thinking was going to happen there?
Yeah, I knew that that he would be fast right off the restart. He had about 6 laps, I think, on his left side tires. The key was just to try to keep that momentum rolling, because I knew after a few laps, my tires would have the advantage, and he'd started to push up a little bit. So I just stuck that nose in there, kept it all the way glued to the white line and the apron, and just never lifted.
Man, you did great. You, as always, week in, week out, you are a surgeon out there applying your trade in a way that very few people can match, and it shows. Your record, the record stands real strong, and it looks like you may have been able to jump back into the lead, taking over the points from Wayne Hutchins.
It's going to be close, man. I was real disappointed to not make it out to the track last week. Unfortunately, we had some issues. Wife was in the hospital. She wanted to push baby out a little bit early. So it is awesome to come back, run strong, finish in victory lane. And I got to wish her a happy birthday. It's her birthday. She's kind of tied up in bed rest, and we out winning the race.
You're putting your 4th Walz female out there, coming out here any couple of days now.
Yeah, we'll keep her for a little bit longer.
we can go with 3 Walz for now. Put the 4th Walz a while later down the run.
Yeah, definitely. No, that race was just intense, man. The restarts, you could just run flat out. So it's so hard to try to gain position until about 10 laps in. And when the cautions were falling right in the beginning, you didn't have that stretch. So it was a matter of go time. I think I was as far back as about 13th or 14th and went.
Yep, that was awesome. Hey, we're going to wrap this up with you here real quick. We got one more interview of Mr. Twinkie, who had an amazing race. We're going to go ahead and throw him in here. But what do you got? Anything new, anything coming up real quick? Give us a couple of seconds of Darlington next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Darlington. I hope a lot of these guys throw some throwback schemes on the racetrack. I'm really looking forward to this track. It's one that iRacing doesn't really run a whole lot on. So it's a track that's kind of the forgotten, and it's an awesome racetrack. We're going to have some amazing racing going on there. Looking forward to it. I got to give a big shout out to Walz Beard Co. back in victory lane. That Chevy was just on rails. Got to thank Sim Stuff, the Hungry Dragon, Sasquatch Crossings, Bolt Vapes, big supporters for us. They do a lot for the series. Got to thank OCTV. You guys are amazing. I watched a bunch of the broadcasts this morning. I watched the Dover race I missed. You guys are just entertaining. Hats off to you guys. I hope this race was fun to call. I can't wait to go back and watch it. And we're going to Darlington.
Booyah, baby. All right, see you guys next week.
And 4.
And real quick here, since we didn't have Carl Burke with us, the man who had one of the best from the back to the front runs, Chad Barker. Don't get to interview him nearly enough. Chad, you got your ears on?
I do.
Hey, how you liking that new wheel and pedal setup you just got the other day?
Well, I think it's a little better than what I had before.
You kind of got stuck up in somebody else's stupid early in the race, and then you're able to make up 2 laps, or I guess that was your own stupid, wasn't it?
It was. I yesterday in practice I threw 100 tape on the race set to see what it would do as a race set opposed to the qual set, and I saved it, and I didn't realize that I saved it with 100 tape on it. So I was in the race set, but I was in the race set with 100 tape. As fast as I caught Wayne, I was like, "What the hell? Why am I so fast?" And then it started heating up.
Well, Mr. Twinkie, it is fantastic to see you have a successful night for once. You're either a wrecker or wrecker, so it's great to see you getting some points tonight.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to come from the back. I wish I had more, but I burned everything up trying to get back up there, so I had not much left at the end.
All right, give us real quick a rundown who you want to thank, what you got to call out for, and let's go get some beer.
All right. Well, we got to thank Mark for starters because Mark pours his heart out for our setups, and he does a good job, and he's the one that makes us fast every week, aids us in being fast every week. I want to thank everybody on Dog Bear, Walz Beer Company, Hungry Dragon, Sim Stuff, Volt Vapes, Sarge's Place, Gary, Drew, Sasquatch Crossing, and I got to throw a shout out to Jeff because Jeff, he worked harder than anybody on the Dog Bear team this week to have a good race, and his internet just stopped him, and I've been there and I know how that feels. So good luck next time, Jeff. You'll get them.
All right, man. Good job. Glad to see you back. Glad to see you running. Glad to see you got upgraded internet and a new wheel and pedal set come in.
I got a new computer too, actually. I
And
jumped
a
up
new
to a
computer.
1070 graphics card. So
He is an all new Chad. We're Chad 2.0 here.
if I can't beat Mark on the track, I'll pay to beat him.
It's good to be honest, Chad. All right, man. I'm gonna throw you back to the Wolves. We're gonna wrap this up.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think my final thoughts, real quick. It was an excellent race. Really unfortunate what happened to a couple of drivers early on. We mentioned Jeff Stabnow and his unfortunate accident that kind of wrapped up a couple of drivers, Kip Leo, to mention one of them, and those guys have just been having some rotten luck. Same for people like Andy Vogt, who was having an excellent race. He was really driving through the field early on and just spun and couldn't catch it and lost all those laps towards the end of the race. But hey, shout out to you just mentioned Jad Barker finally getting himself a good finish. And right in front of him, hello, Brett Johnson. I mean, welcome to this series. Excellent job by him. First race, first top 5, and that's the way you want to do it.
Heck yeah, man. First half of that race, I was really feeling the pains in my heart of, oh no, please don't let this be the case. Northwest Truck Series pulled it together. They ran an amazing second half, put on a clinic the last 10 laps. That was a pleasure to watch, and I'm going to be riding high on this for probably at least a good 10, 15 more minutes. I'm kidding. This is going to be one we're going to talk about for the next couple of weeks.
And definitely great racing there towards the end as well. I mean, you know, it's very rare that we get to come down to the end of a race and have so many battles at different parts of the track. It's just a pleasure to watch, pleasure to call. As we mentioned earlier, next week we are going to Darlington for the Sarge's Place 163. That should be an extremely entertaining race. So, yeah, come back and join us next week, same time, same channel here on OCTV and iRacing.com/live. And for Donovan Johns, Katie Reed, and Tony Knuckles on the 1s and 2s tonight, I am Wes the Mess, and we are out. Thank you for watching.